So we had Carter, and we, by the way, we've switched. I switched OBs at this point when I got pregnant, just because some things happened with the other doctor's office that I wasn't happy with. And so I'd switched to a new doctor who's still my OB, who we love. And I talked to him once I had Carter. We had talked about, you know, if he thought, well, maybe now, I thought, well, we got pregnant. Now my body knows what it's supposed to be doing, and maybe we won't struggle anymore.
Yeah.
And he told us that a woman is most fertile like 6 months after, from the time you give birth to 6 months after, a woman should be pretty fertile. And so as crazy as it was, we were like, we're not gonna prevent, and if it happens, awesome, you know, let's get another one here. And sorry, I keep sinking down in this couch.
You're right.
So anyway, so we didn't prevent with Carter. Well, another year or two went by, and we had not been able to get pregnant, and so we decided that we knew we wanted to have another baby because we wanted Carter to have a brother or sister to grow up with. And so it was really important for us to get pregnant again. And so we started the journey again, and I went to my OB and had told him that we hadn't been preventing, and
pretty much
we
the
weren't
exact
getting
same thing.
pregnant.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing over again.
Yeah, it was like, and that was what was so hard, was that it was just starting all over again, and it was very frustrating. And
well, one thing that Shawnee also points out is that the feelings that she had in primary infertility, with women telling her that they were pregnant, or her sister, or whoever else,
it's just
it comes back. It comes back in secondary.
And that's what I thought. That's what I thought. I thought that once we had Carter, I was like, okay, I think I'll be fine. Like, if we don't get pregnant again, I'll be okay. Like, because we have Carter, and it's fine. And you guys, that's something that I want people to understand, that we struggled with primary infertility, and it was so hard. And whenever I found out someone else was pregnant, it broke my heart every time. And I felt guilty. Like, I felt so guilty, like, being upset about somebody else's joyous news. But all of you out there know, who are struggling with this, know the feeling that I'm describing. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to feel that way, because you have such a desire to be a mom and dad, and to bring a child into this world, and it sucks not being able to, and it's hard to watch other people not struggle with it. It is hard. You know, we aren't, and you aren't someone that can say, I think we're ready to have another kid, like, let's do this, and know that you're gonna probably be pregnant in the first month or 2 or 3. You know, like, we don't know what that feels like.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't know what that feels like, and that sucks, and it's terrible. And if, for those of you who are watching who may not struggle with infertility, I think that's something that, if you can try to understand that, because I know it's hard because you don't fully understand it, but just know that we feel like it's not fair.
Well, and you know, I think that I'm more, also like more sensitive to like stories on the news or things I hear about children being mistreated and things like that, and just because there's so many good people out there who are trying and aren't able to. So it's sad. It is so sad to me, and like I said, it isn't fair. I agree. Yeah. So anyway, I didn't know that. It also isn't. This is the other thing is, and it started to sound like I'm like super temporal, like feel like I'm focusing on temporal things, but money is a big thing too. We have spent so much money on infertility. I mean, we haven't done the IVF thing, but my goodness gracious, IUIs add up. IUIs totally add up. And the medication, a lot of the medication is covered by insurance, and so it's expensive. And that's the other thing that ticks me off. I'm like,
we spent all this money to have a kid, and you spent not a penny for your child. Like,
yeah, it starts
hard.
weighing.
And I know maybe you have like hospital bills and stuff when you have your child, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it weighs on your conscience.
Anyway, I didn't think that I would experience the feelings, but secondary infertility is just as real as primary infertility. Yes, we do have one, and I feel bad saying that because I know there's a lot of you out there who don't have one yet. But I just want to say, for those of you who may have one already, and or even two, and you have that desire to have, you know, baby number 2 or baby number 3, and you just, it's not working, it's still hard, and it still hurts, and it's still, I don't know, it's just
still not fair.
It just doesn't go away. So dealing with secondary infertility, I had asked, my mom had heard about Metformin from somebody, maybe possibly helping some women get pregnant. And so I asked my doctor if I could try Metformin, and my OB's so great, and he's like, of course. And so I tried it, and we were not able to get pregnant on Metformin, although I did lose weight. That was awesome. That was a good side effect. And Metformin was great because that was the only side effect I had, was I lost weight. And then we tried Femara, and weren't able to get pregnant on that. So I did all of that with our normal OB. Then we decided, okay, once again, it's time to go to a fertility specialist again. But we went to a different specialist this time. So we went, and I really liked him. He was
awesome. Really awesome.
Totally different than our doctor. He was
Love
very nice. Yeah. He didn't make me feel rushed when I met him.
He was also, by the way, he's also at the university too. So yeah, I mean, so
he answered
good and bad
every question I had. Like I said, I didn't feel like he was like, come on, like I got other patients to see. Like,
he was amazing.
He was really good. What we did, we ended up doing a monitored IUI cycle with him, where I went in for, I think it was 3, I think I had written down, I went for 3 ultrasounds throughout my cycle, so we could track if I was growing eggs, if they, like, how good they were, like what kind of quality they were, before we did the actual insemination. So that one added up quite a bit just because of the additional ultrasounds. Once again, insurance didn't cover any of it, and just the extra office visits. So we did that, and it didn't work. So once again, we decided to take a break. And in January of 2016, we decided it was time to try again. And the last, really fast, the last IUI I did with this doctor that we liked, he actually gave me a diagnosis. I had never been diagnosed with anything up to this point, and finally this doctor said, you have PCOS. And that was the first time anyone had given us any sort of, you know, idea of what was going on. So that was really nice to be able to finally say, I have PCOS. Yeah. Like, that's what the problem is, which we figured, we knew I probably wasn't ovulating because of my irregular cycles, but it was just nice to have an actual diagnosis at that point. So in January, we went to another fertility doctor. You guys, we've been to so many doctors. So we went to this doctor, and we were ready to start IVF at this point. We said, we're done with the IUIs. I don't want to waste my time on it.
We know that she can get pregnant.
We knew we knew I could get pregnant.
All that stuff.
So I went with a book of questions to ask this doctor that we went to. And we got in there, and he went over our history. Once we had talked to him about everything that we've been through, he told us that he was not ready to have us try IVF. He felt like, since we knew that we could get pregnant, he wanted to do more IUI cycles, but this time he wanted to add in FSH injections. I've never done injections up to this point in my IUI cycles. And so if you are a woman who does not have any sort of like fertility issues, you have about a 16% chance every month to get pregnant, which is like really low.
Yeah, really low.
Like, it's amazing anyone gets pregnant, really. So a woman with PCOS, your number goes down to an 8% chance to get pregnant every month. And the past IUIs that I did, which is the oral medication, it took us up to an 11% chance of getting pregnant. And he told us that with the FSH injections, it would take us up to a 23% chance of getting pregnant. So once he told us that, we felt like, okay, we like those numbers, let's give it a shot before we go to IVF. We monitored with ultrasound, and I think I only had to do 1 or 2 FSH injections that round. I can't remember for sure. And then we did our trigger shot and did the insemination, and it didn't work. So the next cycle, he wanted to do 4 cycles of IUI with FSH. So on the second cycle, he added a few more injections during that cycle. It didn't work. At that point, we were feeling really discouraged again. And so this was in February. We found out at the end of February that our second one with injections wasn't successful. And we went into his office, and he just looked over, he wanted to look over our, the sperm
everything, just everything.
Analysis, the eggs, everything, and just see kind of what he wanted to do, what he wanted us to do at that point. When we were in there, he discovered that the results for Jordan's sperm was not real good. So his morphology score was at a 4%, and a normal is 14 or higher percent for morphology. And so now we were like, crap. Yeah. Like now we're moving into the male issues as well as female issues. Yeah. And so he called the lab that does the sperm analysis stuff and preps the sperm for the IUIs, and asked him to calculate our fertility score. And it came back at a 9% out of 100%. So basically we have a 9% chance to get pregnant.
What that means is that Carter is an absolute miracle. That's what that is.
It came back to Carter was meant, I really feel like Carter was definitely meant to be in our family, and that was such a miracle pregnancy. Yeah. And we're so grateful for it. And it just gave us even more gratitude for that. He basically told us, you probably don't want to waste your money on any more IUIs at this point with that score, and IVF is going to be the best route. Keep in mind, at the beginning of the year when we first went to this doctor, we were ready to do IVF. Like, we were ready, well, I was. I found out later Jordan wasn't, but I was ready to do this IVF stuff. So we left the doctor's office and we got in the car, and I think we were probably quiet for the first minute, like, what just happened? Like, we were not expecting that. And Jordan just opened up to me and said, I'm gonna be honest, I've never felt good about IVF. And he told me, I wrote down on my journal, which I'm glad I did, he told me that he wanted to support me and what I wanted to do, and he knew that I wanted to be pregnant again. And so if IVF was really something that I wanted to do, he would have supported it and done it. But now that it was so real, and that's where we were at, he just felt like we couldn't move forward with it without him telling me his feelings, that he felt like it wasn't right and wasn't what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, and at that point too, we also talked about I mean, there is also IVF is not automatic. You don't just get pregnant just because you do IVF. That is an absolute lie.
And we found out
anybody who says that, you know.
Well, and a lot of you probably know. Some of you are trying. I read stories all the time. People are on IVF round number 4. Like,
yeah.
You know, I mean, our sister-in-law did a couple rounds.
I don't know, 4 or 5, I think.
But anyway, but as soon as Jordan told me his feelings, just a feeling of peace came over me. And I also knew that IVF was not for us and was not what we were supposed to do. And so and once we made that decision, I felt good, because it just felt like a weight was lifted off our shoulders. You know, so we updated our families, and we told them kind of what was going on and where we were at, and you know, and then at that point, we started talking about adoption. So, but we won't go into that. This video is already like really long. I'm sorry. But that did lead us to our decision to adopt. We will do, we have a few other videos that we want to do talking about the infertility stuff and other things that we tried. Jordan's going to do a video kind of just from a viewpoint of the man, and you know, and kind of how he felt, because men and women feel so different. I was always a lot more emotional. I know he was emotional, but not as much as I was throughout it.
Well, how about in a different way?
Just in a different way, and just handled it differently. And so he's gonna do a video about that, and then of course we will do videos on the adoption, our adoption process, and how Jackson came into our family. Anyway, if anyone made it through this video, because it's really long. If you made it through,
I hope you liked it.
Watching.
We'll have some more videos. Hopefully we can be a little more entertaining.
I know, this one was just to like
just kind of
give you our history, let you know what we've been through.
Let it out, and then see what happens next.
Also, subscribe to our channel if you want to follow along.
Give us a thumbs up.
Like I said, we're gonna keep posting videos. We're also just gonna post our daily lives, things that we do. So follow along, guys, and share this video with anyone and everyone you know, because like I said, you may not know if they're struggling, and if we can give one person some hope, that's all we want. Yeah. Is to just help even one person. Okay, thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you
next
time. Video.